If you have a question on what to do, when to do things, whatever, is it getting me closer to my goals or closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, do it. Don't question it, just do it. And I promise you, you keep doing that through January, by February, you'll be a different person. Promise you, just do the hard things. Do the hard things. But then don't think of it as hard. Think of it as invest. Invest in yourself. Invest into your goals. Invest into the person you want to become. Here's the fantastic thing about doing the hard things. Once you get it done, you feel fantastic. And so you want to tackle the next hard thing and the next hard thing and the next hard thing until all of a sudden you realize that doing hard things is the norm of life that actually fulfills us. And once that happens, you just automatically start doing hard things as if it's natural. And so it compounds, the interest compounds exponentially. It compounds. And so you're just constantly on the roll of doing the hard things when what? Everybody else is doing the easy stuff. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the End-to-End Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Yun Win, and as my friends affectionately call me the Ninja or Prolific Ninja, because my fans and my friends, you can call me Ninja too. This is the End-to-End Podcast, the Alpha to the Omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, motivation, self-improvement, drive, success, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. Welcome to 2024. We are now a week and a half in, and my first question to you is, have you stuck to your resolutions? But before we get into that, I want to start this episode as I start my day, my year, my month, my whole existence is with some gratitude. For those of you new to the show or have been listening, y'all know that when I wake up, I thank the God, thank the universe for another day to be able to be inspirational, to be able to add value to other people's lives. And I want to do that with each episode. And so if you all have been listening to us loyally, or if you're new to the show and you're sharing the show or participating or just listening and thinking about the things we talk about, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. We've been doing this now almost up to 2 years in March. And so over this duration, our show has grown spectacularly well, phenomenally well. You know, they say it takes over 400 episodes to get to 1 million views or follows or subscribers. And this is only episode, I want to say we're getting into our 90s. I don't know what the number is. And so we've got a long way to go, but where we've gone so far, it's been spectacular. And this would not have happened without you. So thank you so very much for being a part of this show. And if you're new to the show, or if you've been listening for a while, you know that I do this on my own dime, on my own time. Spend a lot of my own money. There's a whole team here behind the cameras you don't see that spend their time putting the show together just for you. So we work on a value exchange to grow the show. If you learned something, felt inspired, just even 2 seconds worth or less, a second worth of the content found some value to you, please do share the show. Like, comment, follow, share, subscribe. And so as I say, if you're knowledge swole, share the show. That is how we grow. If you tuned in last week, I mentioned, a few pearls or principles that you can apply to your life in 2024 so that you can actually hit your goals this year. And that's why I started the show asking you, we're a week and a half in, have you met your resolutions, or on your way to meeting your resolutions or the goals you set for yourself in 2024? By now, I would guesstimate half of you all are already off the wagon. You're like, F this, I'm back to my old normal life. The same routine, the same day in and day out, everything's the same, nothing's changed. There's an episode where I think I mentioned, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So what changes have you implemented? Have you implemented any? Life is about evolving, and that requires change, but change for the better. The last episode, I talk about the main principle, which is setting a standard for yourself, being the example to others. And when you think in terms of doing that, your life just naturally changes because you're constantly looking at yourself as, what type of example am I setting? What type of standards am I exemplifying for others to follow or to respect or admire? So have you set those standards for yourself? Are you setting the example over the last, 10 days? That's a question. So principle 1, set the standard. Be the example. right? Set the standard, be the example. So the second principle I'm going to talk about, and hopefully, there will be 3 or 4 or 5 principles that I'll talk about over the next course of a month or so that will help you, not just in 2024. I just use 2024 as a launch off because everybody is making New Year's resolutions and goals and a new me and a new that and a new that, when ultimately they end up being the old me, the old this, the old that. These principles, if you stick to them, will guarantee you to make that evolutionary change to accomplish what we want to accomplish with the show, which is for you to live to your fullest controllable potential. Not just for yourself, but to inspire others. That's the goal of the show, living to your fullest controllable potential. So when I go to principle number 2, number 1, remember, is set the standard, be the example. Okay? So number 2 ties into that. And that is always do the hard thing. We're constantly faced with decisions throughout our day on actions to take, things to say, situations to get involved with, all these things, right? And we're constantly having to have that dialogue with ourselves, whether it's for a split second or over a course of minutes or hours where you're talking to yourself. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? What should I do? Etc. Always do the hard thing. Why is that? Because the hard thing actually gets you to the other side to greatness. Ask anybody that you admire, anybody that's accomplished anything, anybody that's worth anything. Ask them, was it easy or was it hard? 100 out of 100, 1,000 out of 1,000, a million out of a million. Basically, 100% will tell you it was hard. They had to do hard things, right? So doing the hard things conditions yourself to what? Do hard things. And when you do hard things, you get one step closer and closer and closer to your greatness, your success, you fulfilling your fullest controllable potential, because you control your actions. No one will ever tell you, man, I got where I got because I took the easy route. No one is ever going to tell you that. You will never hear that. You will never, ever hear that. So when you have a choice between easy and hard, choose hard. Choose hard. And it's not only doing the hard things with the idea of it's the mental thing. It's like 75 hard. It's not called 75 easy. It's 75 hard for a reason. You got to condition your mind to do the hard thing. Because why? We had that episode where we talked about calluses on your hands. It calluses your mind. It calluses your grit, your energy, your enthusiasm to do hard things. So when you're faced with the choice, easy or hard, you're going to go hard every time. And you will see that is the most immediate way to create an impact on your life. That's why people start off at the gym January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And by the time mid-January is there, oh man, I don't need to go to the gym. Because why? Exercise is hard. But you'll never get in shape going easy. That's just a very physical, visible example. But do the hard thing. Do the hard thing, and you will get to be great. Now, here's a more simple way to break it down, because when you're faced with the decision of hard or easy, most people will do easy because that's what they, quote, feel like doing. It's almost against human nature to push into hard. So you got to fight the urge or the feeling of doing something easy, or taking time off, or just relaxing, or being lazy. It takes no energy to do nothing. And that's why it's hard to do hard things. Doing hard things requires an input of energy. And that's why people don't do it. They would rather Netflix and chill, relax, scroll the phone, and do nothing, basically. So here's a very basic structural method that I use in order to help push me into hard things, right? If you're listening to this podcast, that means you've got goals. You've got ideas of success that you want to accomplish or achieve, or you got an idea of success for yourself of the type of person you want to become. Okay, you want to become someone great. You want to become someone successful. You want to become inspirational, influential. You want to become something related to success. So you have success, tangible goals, but then there's also goals of the type of person you want to become. All those things sit on the other side of hard. Okay? But we all have them. If you're listening to this podcast, you should have them, or you're inspired to have some. Write them down, list them out, whatever. But that's the purpose here. Okay, so everybody has those things if you're listening and taking this podcast seriously. You have goals or ideas of who you want to become or who you want to be. Okay? Anytime you're faced with a situation of hard versus easy, what to do, what not to do, how to spend your time, it's binary. I mean, I forget, it's my fault, but I forget what podcast numbers are. But when I talk about it, that life is just binary. It's 1 or 0. 1 or 0. Yes or no. It is or it isn't. There's no in the middle. That's life. Okay? So when you're faced with the decision of what to do, how to spend your time, things to do, hard or easy, it's binary. And the question you ask yourself, and this is what I ask myself constantly subconsciously, is in the decision that I have to make, does this action, decision, choice, what I'm about to say, does it bring me closer to my goals? Does it bring me closer to the type of person that I want to become? Or does it not? Okay? The answer to that question tells you what you should do. Does doing this podcast get me closer to my goal? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Does reading this book, reading 5 pages, 10 pages, 20 pages of this book, get me closer to who I want to become? Yes, do it. Does going out drinking with my buddies get me closer to my goal? No, don't do it. Does being in shape, going to the gym, get me closer to my goal or who I want to become? Yes, do it. It's binary. There's no middle ground. You just do it because it's getting you closer. Okay, now here's a situation where it's yes and no. Not in the middle, but you have a choice. Do it or don't do it. Does going to a social event to network for my business bring me closer to my goal? Yes. Okay, now I can go have some fun a little bit, but it's getting me closer. There's a purpose. I'm not sitting around drinking just to drink. I'm networking to do business. So yes, gets me closer to my goal. Do it. It's a very simplified view on the pathway to success because why? I like to play games with myself. I'm competitive that way. So what do? If I do the hard thing, I give myself a point. Does reading 10 pages get me closer to my goal? Yes. Okay, do it. Get a point. In the alternative, I could spend those 15 minutes and just watch TV. I could do that. Doesn't get me closer to my goal. So if I go do that, which sometimes I do, I'm human like everyone else. I need a breather. I get 0. Sometimes I'll even give myself a -1 because I lost time. I lost opportunity cost. So when you choose the path to do the thing that does not get you closer to the goal, it's a 0 or -1. But when you constantly do the positive thing, the thing that gets you closer to your goal, those ones stack up to 100, stack up to 1,000, stack up to 100,000, stack up to 1,000,000. And I guarantee you, if you're at 1,000,000, you've already reached your goals and you're going for your next one. It's a very simplified, binary way to approach becoming great. It's not the way you live your life, but it's a systematic process. For me, I'm very analytical like that. A systematic way to push myself to do the hard thing because everything on that side where you get a +1 is hard. Everything is hard. But it's a way to challenge yourself to do the hard. I'm going to get a 1 today. I'm going to get a 5 today. I'm going to do 5 hard things. I'm going to do 10 today. I'm going to do 10 hard things. Whatever it is for your goal. But I'm going to go stack up my ones versus collecting zeros. Zeros will never get you there. It will never get you there because zeros are easy. That's why it's 0. And if you're really honest and true to yourself, it's -1. You're working backwards because you lost time. While you're sitting there getting 0 or -1, other people, your competitors, are stacking ones. So going back, if you have a question on what to do, when to do things, whatever, is it getting me closer to my goals or closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, do it. Don't question it. Just do it. And I promise you, you keep doing that through January, by February, you'll be a different person. Promise you, just do the hard things. Do the hard things. Right? But then don't think of it as hard. Think of it as invest. Invest in yourself. Invest into your goals. Invest into the person you want to become by stacking up those ones. Very simplified version. This weekend, my son, basketball player, I've shared a few things with him on Instagram on this account. He tweaked an ankle over the holidays. Had an opportunity to train, high level training over the weekend. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, Sunday, there was a training session. Started at 8 a.m. Night before, he's rehabbing his ankle. Are you gonna go? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. All right. 8 a.m., breakfast at 6, we'll leave at 7:15, hit it at 8. 6:30 a.m. the next morning, man, I don't think I want to go. I just want to work out on my own. I knew damn well he wasn't going to do it on his own. And the hell with that. I on 3 hours sleep, made him breakfast at 6 a.m., ready to go. I said, no, man, we're going. We're going. I don't care. Sometimes you have to do that with a 16-year-old. Dragged his ass to go trained for 2 hours, had a solid training session. After it was done, I was like, hey, how you feel? Man, I'm glad we came. Right? That was a decision point where he had to make a choice. He did not feel like waking up, did not feel like going, wanted to mail it in. Hey, I'm going to go train on my own. Even if he did train on his own, it would have been in the same intensity, same competitive atmosphere. He said, glad I went. Got him closer to his goal. Did the hard thing. Or else 6:30 a.m., no obligation. It's New Year's Eve. He could have mailed it in, slept in till 10 a.m. But we went. It was hard for me because I had an event the night before. I'm on 3 hours sleep. I went with him. So I could have mailed it in. I could have said, you're right. We'll take care of it later. Let me sleep in too. Nah, do the hard things because we have a shared goal for him to get him to the next level. So we did the hard thing. And it was a very simple decision in my head. It's getting us closer to the goal. We got to go do it. Sleeping in for an extra 2 hours would not have gotten us any step closer. In fact, that training session had 15 other players at his level. So he would have been a -1 relative to those kids had he slept in. So that is a systematic way to approach staying on task with your resolutions of the new you, new year, all that BS. It's not a new year. It's not a new you. It's you becoming the greatest controllable version of you to be fulfilled. It's you getting to your goals, regardless of it's 24, 25, 26, whatever the calendar says. It's about you becoming the greatest version of yourself to your goals and who you want to become. So when you're faced with daily decisions on what to do, how to spend your time, is it getting me closer to my goals? Is it getting me closer to who I want to become? Because if it's not, don't do it. If it is, charge forward in that path and knock it out. And here's the fantastic thing about doing the hard things. Once you get it done, you feel fantastic. And so you want to tackle the next hard thing. and the next hard thing, and the next hard thing, until all of a sudden you realize that doing hard things is the norm of life that actually fulfills us. And once that happens, you just automatically start doing hard things as if it's natural. And so it compounds, the interest compounds exponentially. It compounds. And so you're just constantly on the roll of doing the hard things when what? Everybody else is doing the easy stuff. And then all of a sudden you're going to see, man, everybody I was with is way back there now. And I'm way up here and I'm going. It compounds on itself. You just got to get started. And so I hope that presenting this method makes it very easy for you to start doing the hard things. One last time. Is it getting me closer to my goals or the person I'm wanting to become? Then do it. Don't question it. Just do it. You just got to answer yes or no. Is it making me a better person to who I want to become? Is it going to get me closer to my goal? Do it. Don't think about, oh, man, it is, but I feel tired. It is, but I got other things to do. It is, but my friends are going out. It is. No. Throw all that in the garbage. Is it? Yes. Do it. It's just an automatic trigger. Is it? Yes. Do it. Boom. Go. Is it not? Okay. Forget it. Do something else. That's it. It's very simple. Life ain't that hard. It's not complicated. Just do it. Just do it. So, second principle for 2024 or your just life in general. The first, set the standard, be the example. The second, do the hard thing. Do the hard thing. So we'll continue with a few more principles just to help you get through this start of the year where everybody's excited, amped up, let's go, new year, new me. And then by February, we're back in the same old shit. We want to avoid that this time because you've already done that for the last year, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 20 years, whatever it is. However old you are, you've already been doing that for that past life. Now's the time to step it up and move forward. If you follow my personal page on Instagram, I posted this thing about, my car and this badass shot in the tunnel. Thank you, Most Epic Media, for taking that. But the caption to the post was, I'm coming around to help everybody win in 2024. Okay? So that's what I'm here for you, to help you win. Okay? And so I'm gonna ask you all, my audience, just what I presented one of the trainers today when I was working out. Good friend of mine. Saw him first part of the year, wished him a happy new year. I said, look, I looked him square in the eye. I said, look, man, I want you to tell me how I can help you win this year in all seriousness. So he's going to think about it and he's going to hit me up and tell me how I can help him win. And so with my audience out there, the End-to-End Podcast Nation, tell me how I can help you win. DM me, email me, ask@the2n podcast.com. DM me on or post me a message on YouTube, Instagram. We're on Twitter now, or X. Just send me a message and let me know how I can help you win in 2024. It's all about winning this year. I want more in 2024. You heard that right. Okay? So, glad to be back. A lot of energy for the start of the year, a lot of positivity. So many people I know personally are starting 75 hard. Personally, I'm not because I just finished it. For all of you out there doing something great, wanting to become greater, I wish you the best of success, best of luck. I'm here to help you in any way possible achieve your goals, okay? And so, but this is value exchange. So if you found some value in this or any other episode, please do share the show. If you're knowledgeable, share the show. That is how we grow. So I'm going to end this episode as I end all my episodes, as I end my day. And that's with an expression of gratitude to God, the universe, and to you all who are liking, commenting, sharing, following, all these things. It's growing and growing. I can feel the momentum and feel the energy. Yeah, it's over the phone and digitally, but I have this unique sixth sense kind of deal where I feel the energy growing and growing and growing. So thank you so much for listening. If you're knowledgeable, share the show. Be great today, but be even more grateful. Looking forward to bringing you another episode and a third principle on how you can succeed in 2024. Let's go.